This is a bookworld summary of the book Employee to Entrepreneur by Steve Glaveski. The path to doing what you love is not always straightforward, and sometimes the hardest part of becoming an entrepreneur is unraveling what you don't know and trying to fill those gaps in knowledge as quickly as possible. Before he became an accomplished author, successful entrepreneur, and popular podcast host, Steve Glaveski, author of Employee to Entrepreneur, was there himself, which is why he decided to write a book that provides a blueprint for people that want to be freed from the corporate world and learn how to become creators and entrepreneurs. Number 1. Learning to adapt to change is essential to success in our modern world. Imagine that just 10 years ago, someone had told you that you'd be able to press a button on your phone and, within minutes, a car would just roll up for you. Not only that, but you could pay for the service without any physical exchange and arrive at your exact destination without saying a word about it. You likely wouldn't have believed them. Indeed, today, car-sharing apps like Uber might not seem like such a miracle. They've become so common over the last decade that these days, you might even complain if your ride is a few minutes late. This unbalance goes to show just how quickly technology is changing our socio-cultural standards, and it's happening at a rate that's only set to speed up, according to a concept known as Moore's Law. Moore's Law discerns that ever since the 1960s, computing power has been doubling every 18 to 24 months. Most large organisations today are overrun by cultures that are ill-suited for the fast-changing pace of the world. Corporate employees are prone to being burdened with outdated cultures of overplanning, unnecessary meetings, office politics, and so on. So it comes as no surprise that the majority of salaried workers in Western economies from the US to Australia report dissatisfaction with their jobs. Number 2. Embracing failure and discomfort is the main driver for growth. Have you ever tried to learn a new skill and decided it just wasn't for you? Maybe you reach a point where you're not making progress while learning a new language, so you concluded that you just weren't a language person. If you've ever resigned yourself to thinking, this isn't for me, or I'm just not craving for it, you're guilty of having a fixed mindset. Psychologist Carol Dweck believes that there are two kinds of mindsets, a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset infers that you are born with a specific level of intelligence and creative ability, which determines how successful you can be in the course of your life. On the other hand, a growth mindset views all characteristics as flexible, and all failure as a form of feedback that stimulates personal growth. To succeed at anything new, whether it's learning a language or establishing your first enterprise, having a growth mindset is vital. This is because learning any new skill certainly involves experiencing some level of discomfort and blows to your ego. To endure such a challenge, your belief in yourself needs to come from something other than external proof. Going as far to create an environment that harbours negative criticism can be a powerful tool for both personal and business development. Number 3. Know your goals before you embark on your entrepreneurial journey. Coping with a difficult challenge is easier when you're driven by a clear purpose, in life as well as in business. Psychologist Edward Decky ran research that showed how students that were paid to participate were less interested in working on solving given problems than those who hadn't been given any monetary motivation. Not only is ingrained motivation a powerful performance boost, but it's also what provides that essential defence point when times get tough. Indeed, most entrepreneurs pass through what is known as the trough of despair, or temporary periods of loneliness and defeat. It's only when you believe in what you do that you can withstand the lows without becoming overwhelmed with self-doubt. But to know your purpose, you have to be honest about why you want to start the entrepreneurial journey. Don't just think of the immediate consequences of leaving your current job. Ask yourself if you need to quit your job. Perhaps you'd be satisfied with a freelance side hustle rather than going all in. To get to the root of your real goals, try the author's 5 F's method. This is an exercise you can do every few months to take a record of your life measurably. Pick some notes and write the 5 F's: freedom, financial independence, fulfillment, fitness, and friends and family. Number 4. Collecting and connecting ideas shape the foundation of entrepreneurship. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine you have a skateboard, a bicycle, and a motorbike. Now, deconstruct each object into its essential parts. The skateboard is made up of a deck, wheels, and trucks. The bicycle has handlebars, a seat, spokes, and a chain. The motorbike has an engine, oil tank, clutch, and brakes. Now, think about how you might combine these individual parts to build a new object. For example, you could perhaps build a jet ski by combining the skateboard's deck, the bicycle's seat, and the motorbike's tank and engine. This process of deconstruction and reconstruction is known as first principles thinking, and it's a method used by some of the world's most successful entrepreneurs, including Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. First principles thinking helps to change existing ideas into creative propositions, rather than just incrementally improving the form of existing services and products. While it sounds simple in theory, in practice it's a different story. A typical example to demonstrate the challenge of first principles thinking can be found in the modern suitcase. Even though messenger bags and wheeled wagons date back to ancient Rome, no one thought of combining the two until 1970, when Bernard Sadow observed an airport worker hauling a heavy piece of machinery on a wheeled platform. And like that, 5 millennia after the invention of the wheel, the first piece of wheeled luggage was invented. Number 5. Always test your theory before you carry out your idea. Let's say you have your insight moment when you realise that you wish you had more time to shop for fresh produce. Finding an opportunity, you decide to launch a fruit box subscription service. You reckon your friends will sign up and get a buzz going, but you decide not to tell anyone until you figure out all the ins and outs. So you waste no time and invest all your savings into bringing your startup to life. You partner with a wholesaler, hire a software developer, and build the app. Fast forward to launch day. You're surprised at the lack of downloads. What went wrong? Well, it turns out that the most of your friends would rather continue to buy fruit at the supermarket if given the option. Jumping to conclusions is one of the most common mistakes entrepreneurs make. An equally common issue is keeping your idea too close to your heart before sharing it with anyone. As a result of these habits, almost half of all startups fail in the market. However, there are low-cost strategies for avoiding jumping to conclusions. The key is to test your idea on your customer section first. After all, how can you know if your idea will work unless you know that your customers will want it? When testing your idea, select which theories you test based on their risk level. In other words, stay focused on the theories that are most critical to your business. Number 6. Your time is precious. Limit your focus and eliminate distractions. Every day, we're saddled with making decisions. Some might seem minor, like whether or not to fluff, but poor decisions repeated over a long time can have a fatal impact. Furthermore, checking your email every 15 minutes might seem trivial at the moment, but when you do that daily replying, it sums up. Examine how much time you spend replying to push notifications about the latest email or headline. Check your screen time stats. If you're on your phone for 3 hours per day, set a goal to reduce that figure to 60 minutes. It might seem that you're spending 2 hours on tasks that yield $10 per hour, while focusing on $50 per hour tasks for the rest of the day. But over a year, these accumulate into a considerable loss. To stay focused, consider handing out tasks that don't yield much value. For jobs that require human attention, contemplate hiring a virtual assistant for $10 per hour from recruitment websites such as Fiverr or Upwork. You have to assess individual skills and invest in training. But making the hire will allow you to focus your energy on activities that add value. Limiting your focus allows you to boost your productivity without breaking down. What's your most important key takeaway? Please comment down below and share the video if you like it. Check out these other 2 videos. Thank you, and until next time.